Hello everybody, I thought I would do a quick video on how to make my Halloween curtains that I have in my kitchen this year. You can use this idea for Halloween, Christmas, something for the summer to match your theme, whatever. It's just giving you a quick idea. They're no-sew curtains. Here I'm showing you a picture of my book where I write down my ideas for how I want my curtains to look, and then, this is how they ended up turning out. But this fabric I got from Walmart, I'm showing you, it's kind of a heavy weight. It does unravel, but it unravels with great big strings. It doesn't unravel with really fine fuzzies. You need your hot glue gun, you need your sewing, your thread and your needle, and that's my thing. I set my hot glue gun on, and if you're like me, you need some powerful, ugly lasses. But anyway, I'm going to tilt you down here in a second so you can see more what I'm doing. Okay, this fabric that I have here is, I'm substituting it for the black and white fabric that I have as the trim around the orange and white stripes. Now the black and white fabric that I actually used is kind of like a t-shirt material, and if you can find something like that, I recommend it because when you pull on t-shirt material, it kind of rolls up and it doesn't even look like it's missing hems or anything. If you use like a regular fabric like this one that I'm showing you here that I'm sewing, the edges will kind of unravel, but it's not like you're using these curtains hard and throwing them in the laundry and that kind of thing and unraveling them and making them look, messy. But here's the actual fabric that I used. I just showed you a little clip. I hate this shirt and I hate some other things about this video, so I didn't stick with that one. But anyway, you just do a running stitch back and forth through your fabric with a long piece of thread, and then you scrunch it up like this to give it the ruffly look. So I'm just showing you real quick with this. And my windows are like, I don't know, 42 inches by 36 inches or something like that in my kitchen. So you just, when you go to buy your fabric, you want to make sure that you're getting enough fabric to cover your entire window. Now, obviously, I'm not sewing my curtain here. I'm just showing you how to make the curtains. So I made like a rectangle shaped panel, and then you just run a bead of hot glue, and make sure you wear your finger protectors if you're sensitive to your hot glue and you get burns. I've been burned a lot, so I risked it for you guys to show you this. But at the corners, I cut my corners at an angle, so when you fold over the next side of the fabric, you don't have really thick triangles in the corner. When you're doing this, you'll see what I mean. You don't want to have heavy fabric. The fabric's already heavy, and then you're adding the hot glue, so the hot glue makes it even more heavy. So you want to have as little fabric as you possibly can in those corners to keep them looking nice and neat. So just go all the way around, fold them down, and make it look nice and neat. And as you put the hot glue on there and you fold them down like this, it does make it so that the material no longer unravels. So you don't really have to worry about your unraveling fabric. You can clip that off after you're finished gluing and it's dried, and then it won't continue to happen. So just keep going all the way around. And it's important, if you're using a striped fabric like this, try to keep your lines straight. I think I show you what I mean here in a minute, but like, keep the orange lined up with the orange and the white lined up with the white, because once you have light shining through the back side of your curtain, it'll be noticeable that you didn't line up your fabric neat, and you don't want that. The whole idea is to make this easy and have it look good and not messy. See, so here I'm showing you that you can actually, if you're going to have your curtains on a window, like out to a deck or something, where you stand on your deck and you see through the window and you can see the quality of your curtains, you can fold these over one more time and you get like a nice neat seam with no raw edges. My curtains in my kitchen are not close to, you don't stand really close to them from outside, so I didn't do this with mine. I just did one rollover and called it a day. So my dog's going to start barking. I hope she doesn't, but she might. She barks a lot. So here we go. Just continue doing this all around the curtain panel. Now, this is much faster than sewing the curtains, but it still does, you'll have to plan some time out to be able to do this. And before you start, make sure you iron your fabric and all of that and have your fabric all nice and, you know, ready to go. And with the fabric that I have here, that orange and white, the white was a little bit too white for what I wanted in my kitchen. So I did make a pot of coffee and I dunked my fabric into the coffee and stained it just a little bit, just to give it a little bit more of an aged look. Having a bevy. Okay, so here I'm showing you, I'm taking the ruffled piece that I made and I'm going to glue it to the bottom of my curtain. You want to try to make sure that you have it lined up where you're gluing right in the middle where you sewed down the middle of that piece of fabric. Give it a good little press down with your fingers. And I didn't have enough fabric in that scrunched up piece to cover the whole thing, so I'm cutting another little piece and I'm going to do it really quick so that I can stick it on there. We don't want to waste this fabric after we go through the trouble, so we're just going to quickly make just enough to finish off that 2 inches there on the end of that piece of fabric. There we go. Glue it down. I'm trying to line it up just right so that you can't tell that it's a joined piece of fabric. It makes a really nice ruffle. It really does. And like I said, if you can find for your ruffly fabric around the outside of it, if you can find some kind of t-shirt material, I recommend that. T-shirt material is kind of fun to work with for different things. So I'm going to show you how it looks over. See how it matches up with that bottom part. That's the idea. I made these fake towels. If you watched my my Halloween home tour, I made some faux dish towels to hang on my stove and sinks, or my stove and refrigerator. Here I'm showing you how I made the tie backs. It's just cut strips of felt, and then I cut little slices in it halfway up to give it like a fringy look, because I didn't want to have the black and white striped fabric doing my tie backs too. So I thought the solid black looked best. So that's how I did that. And then I just thumbtacked it right back into the wall. So, you know, nobody's going to get that close and investigate. So here I'm just showing you a little extra thing. I didn't want to waste my fabric that I had showed you how to make the curtains with. So I took some quilt batting and I'm sprinkling some cinnamon on it. And then I go get some allspice and pumpkin spice and clove, and I'm spreading it out on there. I noticed that it goes through pretty easy, so I'm going to put another layer of fabric on the inside here. This is not necessary. You can only make this if you if you want to. I'm just showing you how I'm trying to be resourceful and come up with things as we progress here to match the kitchen. So I'm cutting this piece of fabric to fit right inside of my other piece of fabric, gluing it down. Striped fabric's fun to work with because you can have nice neat straight lines. You don't end up with crooked curtains. And so I'm putting my 2 layers of batting there, and then I'm going to glue around the outside of this to close it in. You want to close that in really good with the hot glue. This might be a project that would be best to sew it, but we were hot gluing things, so I went with it. So here we go. Just get it all glued down. I'll show you what I do with it here in a second. You got to be patient with your hot glue and let it, you know, let it cool off. Sometimes it's, you know, you get impatient and you want to start messing with things before it's hardened up. So here's what we're going to do with this. Yay! And when you put a warm pan on it, it's going to smell, and it works great. I've used it a couple times since I made it, and it's really nice. Silly, but nice, and it matches my curtains, and it matches my towels. Here I'm showing you my curtains that I did in the living room. I just wanted to... These look better in person, I think, than they did in my video, because it's hard to pick up all of the light reflection that you get off of them. That painting on the wall there, I show that in my home tour also. It was... I had some tarot cards, and that was a picture that was on one of the tarot cards. And this little corner over here had some bat type things in it, so I went ahead and went with it. And that's what brought on the idea for these curtains that I'm doing. You can get these black panels that I showed you that I'm using. You can get those at Walmart, and actually I've just recently seen those in the Dollar Plus section at Dollar Tree for I think $3, and at Walmart they're like $4 and change, so $5. And these are just tension rods. I use these all the time for my curtains in the living room and actually in the kitchen. I like to use tension rods because I feel like they're more flexible. Bean, can you not bark, please? So I'm just putting my tension rod up. And I did my project with my Cricut. I used the Dollar Tree, you know, the vinyl from Dollar Tree with the sticky back. So I just went through and I cut out a whole bunch of different shaped bats. You can't really tell in my video that they're different shapes, but they are. They're small and medium sizes. I didn't do any great big bats on my curtains, but I did them in rose gold and silver. So I just take those and I stick them all over that panel that I stuck up there. I'm not going to make you watch me do all of them. I stick a few up there, and then I think I skip forward so that you don't have to suffer through that with me. See, there you go. And then I didn't want to, you know, spend all kinds of time on my curtains. I had plenty of projects to do this year, but I did want to have something that I did in my living room with my windows. And this one's actually messier than the rest of the curtains in my living room because this was the last of the lace fabric that I had. And I went back to the store to get some more, and they didn't have any of the same fabric. So I'm trying to make do with what I still had left over. So I work with it. I'm not going to make you watch me to do the whole thing working with this fabric to get it to come out how I want, but I dilly-dally with it for quite a while and get it kind of decent. So, but I really like how the light, the shimmery fabric that shimmery, what do you call that? The stuff that you get from Dollar Tree. I already said it went vinyl. How it picks up the light from my lamps at nighttime. So here I'm showing you, oh, there's my brooch that I have that I got from Temu that I really like, and I've got some bat earrings, and then my bat curtains, and my bat painting, and my ugly batty glasses. But you just pull the backs off of those, and you just stick them right on there, and that's how that comes out. I think it looks really good, and I hope you like it too. And I'm going to show you, I did try to make a stencil, just tracing some bats on a big piece of cardstock, and then I, you know, stippled the paint onto the curtains, and they look really neat. They look good with black lights, because I did use some glow-in-the-dark paint with the white paint. But when I have them up to the windows, it's, you can see them halfway decent here, but like when the light's shining through the windows during the daytime pretty good, you can't see the bats. They're a little too transparent. That's why I went with using the vinyl instead. Anyway, hope you liked the video, and give me a thumbs up.